Welcome back to Crypto Chatter, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
I'm Elliot Carter.
And I'm Mira Bennett.
And today, we are diving into some news that's got everybody talking.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's the SEC.
The SEC, fine one.
Approving Bitwise's dual Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF.
Big news.
This is the one that, lets investors hold both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Without having to pick a favorite.
Without having to pick, yeah.
Yeah, it's huge.
So we've got the article right here. SEC approves Bitwise's dual crypto ETF, Bitcoin and Ethereum, in one fund. From Crypto Newsflash.
January 31st, 2025?
January 31st, 2025. Very recent.
Very, very recent.
So, this is interesting because it seems like maybe the SEC is getting a little bit more comfortable with the idea of crypto ETFs.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that could have some pretty big implications for the entire crypto industry.
Definitely. And especially for a lot of the everyday investors out there who, they hear all this buzz about crypto, but they're not really sure how to, buy it, where to store it.
Yeah, they don't want to mess around with all the technical stuff.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so this could be a really interesting kind of on-ramp, I guess, for those people to kind of dip their toes into the crypto waters.
Definitely. Makes it so much more accessible.
For sure, for sure. But maybe we should take a step back for a second.
Okay.
For those listeners out there who maybe aren't, super familiar with ETFs.
Not everyone's a financial expert.
Yeah, can you break it down for us? What is an ETF and what's all the fuss about with this particular one?
Yeah, so an ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. And it's basically like a basket of assets. Think of it like a little package of different things that you can buy and sell on an exchange,
Okay.
just like you would a stock.
So like a stock. Got it.
Exactly. And it gives you a way to invest in, a bunch of different assets without having to go out and buy each one individually.
So in this case, we're talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Right. You get a little bit of both.
So you're getting exposure to both of those in one neat little package.
Exactly. One neat little package.
Okay, that makes sense.
No more choosing sides.
You don't have to pick your favorite.
Yep.
So, but why the 83-17 split?
Oh, yeah, the article mentioned that.
83% Bitcoin, 17% Ethereum.
It's not just like, a random number they pulled out of a hat.
Okay.
They're using this really interesting dynamic weighting system.
Okay.
And it's based on each token's circulating supply and a certain pricing benchmark.
Oh, wow.
So that ratio, the 83-17, it's actually going to adjust over time
Oh, interesting.
to reflect how the market's doing and how Bitcoin and Ethereum are performing relative to each other.
So it's not just like a set it and forget it type of investment.
Right, exactly.
It's actually designed to kind of like adapt and change as the market changes.
It's dynamic, yeah.
Is that pretty cool?
That's a level of sophistication that we haven't really seen in a lot of the earlier crypto ETFs.
Totally. So it seems like they're really trying to like be responsive
Yeah, I think so.
and make sure that it's a balanced investment.
It's really interesting. It shows they're really thinking about the crypto market and how it works.
Now, one thing I am curious about is the partnerships involved here.
Yeah.
Because Bitwise has teamed up with Coinbase for the crypto custody side of things,
Mhm.
and then Bank of New York Mellon for cash custody and administration.
Those are some big names
Like big names.
in both the crypto world and the traditional financial world.
It says something, right?
It really does. I think it shows that the established players are actually starting to take crypto seriously. Like they're not just dismissing it anymore.
Yeah.
They're actually willing to get involved and invest in the infrastructure.
So for some of those investors out there who are still, a little bit hesitant, a little bit wary of crypto,
A little bit on the fence.
seeing these big names
Yeah.
involved, that could be pretty reassuring.
I think so. It definitely adds a layer of legitimacy.
Yeah, yeah. And it could signal maybe a bigger shift towards mainstream acceptance of crypto investments.
It's like a stamp of approval.
It's really cool to see how this whole industry is maturing and attracting that institutional interest.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it used to be.
And it seems like these partnerships could really pave the way for wider adoption
Yeah, for sure.
and even more integration of crypto into the traditional financial system.
It's all starting to blend together.
It is. It's all starting to blend
That's
together.
so fascinating.
But speaking of wider adoption, the article also mentions a flurry of
Fleur.
other ETF applications
Yeah, everyone's jumping on board.
that are targeting other cryptocurrencies
All sorts of coins.
like Dogecoin, XRP, Litecoin, even Chainlink.
Yeah, it's a wild world out there.
So I got to ask, is this just a passing fad?
That's the million-dollar question.
Or are we witnessing like the emergence of a whole new asset class.
You know, I really think it's more than just a fad. While some of these, smaller cryptocurrencies might not have the same kind of track record as, the big boys like Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Right.
there's definitely a growing demand for more crypto investment products and for more variety.
And as more of these ETFs get approved,
Yeah.
investors are going to have, way more options to really kind of tailor their portfolios
Absolutely.
to their own specific risk tolerance and investment goals.
It's all about having choices.
Yeah, so it's like opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly, exactly. And I think it's important to remember that, crypto is still a relatively young asset class,
For sure.
and it can be volatile.
Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart.
But with increased regulation,
Uh-huh.
more institutional involvement, and just like better education for investors,
Right.
I think crypto really has the potential to become, a major part of the global financial landscape.
I totally agree. And for those of you listening who want to learn more about all of this,
Yeah, if you want to dive deeper,
definitely check out cryptochatter.co.uk.
we've got tons of resources there.
We've got all the latest news, analysis, and really anything you need to navigate the exciting world of cryptocurrency.
It's your one-stop shop for all things crypto.
Now, going back to the Bitwise ETF and the SEC's approval,
Right.
it's worth noting that the current acting chairman of the SEC, Mark Uyeda, seems to be a lot more
Crypto-friendly.
crypto-friendly than his predecessor.
Yeah, that's definitely been a big shift.
The article even highlights how he created a whole crypto task force.
Yeah, and guess who's heading it up?
Who?
Hester Pierce, crypto mom herself.
Crypto Mom.
A big win for the crypto community.
That is a big contrast to, how things were under the previous administration.
Yeah, things have definitely changed.
Which was often seen as kind of hostile towards crypto.
Right, so this change in leadership could be a big reason why the SEC is suddenly approving all these crypto ETFs.
It makes you wonder, like, what's going to happen next,
Yeah.
What's the future hold?
And with experts predicting, like, a golden era.
A golden era, can you imagine?
For crypto ETFs under Ueda's leadership, it's going to be really interesting to see what unfolds in the coming months.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
Definitely. Definitely. But even with, this positive regulatory shift, we still got to remember that crypto markets are inherently volatile.
That's the nature of the beast.
The article even mentions, Ethereum is currently trading at $3,270, up 1.35%.
Not bad.
But Bitcoin has dipped a little bit, down 1.2% to $104,220.
It's a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. So it's a good reminder that, investing in crypto,
Even through ETF.
even through a regulated ETF,
Yeah,
still carries risks.
always.
It's crucial for investors to, do their research,
Absolutely.
understand how the market works.
Yeah, and be smart about managing their risk.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. But for those out there who are comfortable with those risks,
And who believe in the long-term potential of crypto,
the true believers,
this Bitwise ETF could be a really attractive option.
definitely it's a game changer.
So what do you think is, like, the biggest takeaway for our listeners from this whole Bitwise approval?
I think the biggest takeaway is that things are changing.
Things are changing.
Crypto is becoming more accepted
Regulators.
by mainstream financial institutions.
Yeah.
We're seeing a real shift in attitude from, skepticism to cautious optimism.
Right.
And I think that's a really positive sign for the future of the crypto industry.
And the fact that, these big players like Bank of New York Mellon are getting involved,
Yeah.
that really speaks volumes about where things are heading.
It's a vote of confidence.
It really is. It really is. And I think, the other big takeaway here is that there's this increasing demand
Yeah.
for regulated investment products.
People want in, but they want to do it safely.
Right. And ETFs offer that,
Exactly. They're familiar.
They're regulated.
They're a way to get into the crypto market without having to, deal with all the complicated stuff.
So it's like almost like a bridge
A bridge. Yeah.
between traditional finance and the crypto world.
Exactly.
Making it easier for everybody to get involved.
That's the goal.
And then finally, I think, the Bitwise approval really underscores the importance of diversification.
Diversification is key.
This ETF allows investors to get exposure to both Bitcoin and Ethereum.
The two big ones.
The two big ones, the two most established cryptocurrencies.
Instead of putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Right, you're spreading the risk
Exactly.
and potentially maximizing your chances of success in the long run.
That's the smart way to play it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with, potentially even more crypto ETFs on the horizon.
Oh, yeah, there's more coming.
Investors are going to have even more options to create, really well-balanced and diversified crypto portfolios.
The future is bright.
It is. It's a very exciting time.
Very exciting.
It's really interesting to kind of think about what this all means for the future of crypto as a whole.
Yeah, where are we headed?
Do you think, this growing acceptance of crypto ETFs, is this a sign that crypto is finally becoming a legitimate asset class?
I think it's definitely moving in that direction.
Oh.
We're seeing regulators and traditional financial institutions like
Right.
Bank of New York Mellon taking it a lot more seriously.
Right.
It's not just like the Wild West anymore. There's a growing recognition that
Yeah.
crypto is here to stay, and they're trying to figure out how to integrate it into the existing financial system.
And that integration is kind of happening from both sides, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the crypto industry itself is also maturing.
It's growing up.
It's becoming more transparent.
Right.
It's addressing a lot of the regulatory concerns.
Yeah, and at the same time, the regulators are becoming more educated about crypto. And they're actually developing frameworks that encourage responsible innovation.
So it's really a two-way street.
It is. It's all about collaboration.
Yeah, and I think that collaboration is going to be essential
Absolutely.
for creating a sustainable
Right.
and thriving crypto ecosystem.
We need both sides to work together.
So what does that mean for investors?
What's the takeaway?
Yeah, what's the takeaway? If crypto does become this mainstream investment option,
Right.
what does that landscape look like? More ETFs?
I think more ETFs are definitely on the horizon.
Okay.
We'll probably see a lot more crypto ETFs being approved, maybe covering a wider range of cryptocurrencies, and even different investment strategies.
Yeah, wow.
Like imagine ETFs that are focused on specific sectors of the crypto market.
Oh, almost like sector ETFs, but for crypto.
Yeah.
Instead of just, Bitcoin or Ethereum. You could have one that tracks, the companies that are building the infrastructure for the metaverse.
That's a great idea. Or like an ETF that tracks the performance of DeFi protocol.
DeFi, yeah.
The ones that are disrupting traditional financial services.
It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, we are.
Of what's possible with crypto and blockchain technology.
The potential is huge.
But you said it earlier, it's still a young market.
It's still early days.
It's volatile. There are risks.
Absolutely.
What are some of the challenges or risks that still need to be addressed?
I think one of the biggest challenges is still the regulatory landscape.
Regulation.
Okay, it's still kind of fragmented.
Yeah.
And it's constantly evolving, which can create a lot of uncertainty for businesses and investors.
So what would be the ideal situation? Like a unified global regulatory framework?
That would be amazing.
What are the chances of that happening anytime soon?
It's hard to say. Different countries have different approaches to crypto regulation.
Right.
And finding common ground can be tricky.
For sure. For sure. So aside from regulation, what other potential roadblocks do you see?
Well, security is always a big concern in the crypto world.
Security, okay.
We've seen some pretty high-profile hacks and thefts in the past.
Right.
And those have definitely eroded trust.
Yeah.
And they highlighted the need for more robust security measures.
And especially because, crypto transactions are irreversible.
Right. Once it's gone, it's gone.
So security is absolutely critical.
Absolutely.
So what steps are being taken to address these security concerns?
Well, the industry is constantly developing new technologies and protocols to enhance security.
Okay.
And there's also a growing emphasis on educating investors
Right.
about best practices for securing their crypto assets.
Yeah, education is definitely key.
Absolutely. The more people understand about how crypto works and how to protect themselves. Right.
The safer the whole ecosystem will be.
And of course, we can't forget about the volatility
The elephant in the room.
that we talked about earlier.
It's always there.
While it can present, opportunities for gains, it can also, deter some investors who are maybe a little bit more risk averse.
Right. It can be scary for some people.
Do you think that volatility will eventually decrease as the market matures?
It's likely, I think.
Okay.
As the market becomes more liquid, And as we see more institutional adoption,
Right.
we can probably expect to see those price swings become a little less dramatic.
Okay.
But volatility is kind of inherent to any emerging market,
Right.
and crypto is no exception.
That makes sense. So for investors who are maybe interested in dipping their toes into the crypto
They're
waters,
curious ones.
what advice would you give them?
I would say start small.
Okay.
Do your research
Yeah.
and don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
Right. It's also really important to have a long-term perspective
Okay.
and try not to get caught up in the short-term hype.
That's good advice for any investment, really.
It really is.
And if our listeners want to stay up to date on all the latest developments in the crypto world,
All the juicy details.
where should they go?
Head over to cryptochatter.co.uk.
Cryptochatter.co.uk
We've got all the news, analysis, and resources you need.
to navigate the exciting world of cryptocurrencies.
It's your crypto hub.
You know, it's amazing to see just how much the crypto landscape has evolved.
It really is. Like, it wasn't that long ago that the idea of a dual Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF was just, like, unheard of.
Right, and now here we are.
And here we are.
It's pretty incredible.
I think it just shows, how innovative and resilient the crypto industry is.
Yeah.
Like, despite all the hurdles, the regulatory challenges, the market volatility,
Right.
it just keeps pushing forward.
Yeah, and it's not just about Bitcoin and Ethereum anymore.
No, not at all.
The article mentioned like this whole wave of applications for ETFs targeting all these other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it's like everyone wants a piece of the pie now.
It makes you wonder, like, what's next?
Yeah, what's the next big thing in crypto ETFs?
Well, one thing I've heard people talking about is the idea of like thematic crypto ETFs.
Oh, thematic ETFs. I've heard of those.
So instead of just, tracking the performance of like a single cryptocurrency or a basket of the top coins,
Right.
a thematic ETF would focus on like a specific niche or trend within the crypto market.
So like those sector-specific ETFs we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Like, for example, you could have an ETF that tracks the performance of all the companies involved in DeFi.
DeFi, yeah, that's a hot area right now.
Decentralized finance, right? And
Right.
so this ETF would hold all the tokens related to, lending and borrowing, all those financial activities that are happening on the blockchain.
Yeah, like outside of the traditional financial institutions.
Exactly. Or you could have an ETF that tracks, the metaverse.
The metaverse. Oh, that's a good one.
Right. And it would hold tokens from all the companies that are building virtual worlds and gaming platforms.
And all those immersive digital experiences.
It's like investing in the future of the internet.
It really is. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
And those are just like a couple of examples.
Just scratching the surface.
We could see thematic ETFs focused on like Web3 infrastructure, gaming, privacy coins, sustainable crypto projects.
The possibilities are endless.
Possibilities are endless. It's really taking that concept of, sector ETFs in the stock market
Yeah.
and applying it to the crypto world.
It's a natural evolution.
You're not just betting on individual companies or tokens.
Right.
You're investing in like a whole trend or industry.
A whole slice of the crypto pie.
And that can be a really powerful way to kind of, get exposure to specific areas of growth within the crypto space.
Absolutely. And it gives investors more control over how they participate in the market.
Now, of course, these thematic crypto ETFs they're still largely hypothetical.
Yeah. They don't exist yet, at least not that I know of.
Right. But given the rapid pace of innovation in the crypto space,
Yeah, and the growing acceptance of crypto ETFs by regulators.
I think it's only a matter of time.
I agree. I think we'll be seeing these kinds of products pretty soon.
And when we do, I think it's going to open up a whole new world for crypto investors.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a game changer.
More diversification, more targeted investment strategies.
A more nuanced approach to crypto investing.
It's like taking the whole crypto investment game to a whole new level.
It's exciting to think about.
It is exciting. And that's what makes this space so fascinating, right?
Absolutely. There's always something new happening.
There's always something new.
The potential for growth and innovation just seems limitless.
It really does. It's definitely an exciting time to be following the crypto space.
No doubt about it.
And for our listeners who are, eager to stay ahead of the curve
Yeah, if you want to be in the know.
and learn more about all of this,
All the latest and greatest.
definitely check out cryptochatter.co.uk.
We've got you covered.
We've got all the latest news, analysis, and resources to help you understand this complex world.
And make smart investment decisions.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Bitwise's dual Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF,
Uh-huh.
and the future of crypto ETFs.
What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
The crypto world is constantly evolving.
It's true, it never stands still.
It's an incredibly exciting time to be involved.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out,
There are opportunities for everyone.
and the potential for growth is huge.
And remember, education is key.
Absolutely.
Take the time to learn about the different cryptocurrencies and investment strategies and understand the risks.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah. And seek guidance from reputable sources.
Like cryptochatter.co.uk.
Exactly. The more you understand about crypto
The better equipped you'll be to make those smart decisions.
and navigate this exciting and ever-evolving landscape.
It's a wild ride, but it's worth it.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of Crypto Chatter.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the exciting world of crypto.
We'll catch you next time.
We'll be back next time with more insights and analysis, so stay tuned.